I call this meeting to order on March 23rd, 3 p.m., and I ask staff to call the roll.
Adam Hopkins,
Here.
Barry Kroll,
Here.
Bruce Hendricks, Dan Palmer,
Here.
John Gutz,
Here.
Jay Daugherty.
All right, we have a quorum. I'll entertain a motion to approve the January 4th, 2023 minutes.
So moved. Motion to approve?
Sure. Want to call the roll?
Barry Kroll,
Here.
Bruce Hendricks, abstain. Dan Palmer,
Yes.
John Gutz,
Yes.
Jay Daugherty, Adam Hopkins.
Yes. That motion carries. I'll ask Lauren to come up and swear in our new member, Jay Daugherty. He can just stand up. Thank you, Jay, for serving, and welcome to the Bike and Run Committee.
Yes, welcome.
Now I'll open it up to public comments. Is there a green light? It should be on.
Aside from the League of American Bicycles, there are other organizations, Department of Transportation, Open to Safety, Summit, Safe Streets. But just going down the list of 10 items that were on the agenda for bicycle safety, riding skills, related things, we could develop more league cycling instructors. That's an important part of the league program. I've been retired and inactive for the past 2 years, and that's not going to change. But within the village, we could sponsor a street safe, smart cycling class here, which is one step towards becoming a cycling instructor. So we could get a couple of league cycling instructors to come and do the class. You know, we get maybe half a dozen interested people in it. Maybe even the police bike patrol might want to participate in it. You know, there's a lot of people. Maybe you all might want to participate on it as well. It's a one-day program, and they go through skills and parking lot drill, and then they have a group ride, about 10 miles. Everybody gets a chance to be the leader, and it's a good program.
Who does that? Who offers that?
The League of American Bicyclists. So it's real easy. I got a couple of LCIs that I know that are committed to offering it here in Bartlett if there's interest. So the other thing we can do, there's a bike safety quiz online. Our mayor took it a couple of years ago. He could offer a mayor's challenge to residents. We could even get a special code so that everybody in the village, when they take the quiz, can register as having taken it. I mean, out of 40,000 people, what if we got 500 people taking it? That would be pretty cool, you know? It's a good deal. The other thing we can do is we can encourage bicycle-friendly businesses, which is also part of the Bicycle Friendly America program. Spin Doctor Cycle Works is a gold-level bicycle-friendly business, and we're very readily available to anybody who wants to do it. Now, this is a individual business kind of thing. Could be a place where we eat, go to eat. Could become a bicycle-friendly business. It wouldn't be like a park district, but it could be a location within the park district. Could be the nature center, could be Schrady Gym. You know, there's a whole bunch of options out there in that program for us to take advantage of. Let's see, skipping over to number 5, just a kind of a reminder, May is Bike Month, and the league has many bike programs that we promote during Bike Month, and the more that we take advantage of those bike programs, the better our chances when they look at us in our application for a bicycle-friendly community. Oh, hey, you know, we do Bike to School Day. We do Ride of Silence. We used to do that back when I could ride. But there's lots of things that we can do during Bike Month to kind of promote the bicycling. Increase tourism. We got 4 major regional trails surrounding Bartlett with over 40,000 trail visits registered a year across those. And when county completes the Stearns Road Trail, they'll all be connected. Think of that. We've got 40,000 people who live in Bartlett, 40,000 trail visitors. Hey, that's double the hot dogs, double the hamburgers, double the tacos. I mean, they're a gold mine that we can do. Bikes on trains. Hey, bring your bike to Bartlett and bike Bartlett because we're a great place to be. And stay for a meal or two. So there's lots of different things that we can do. Pedestrian safety thing. Right now I'm kind of on a car-free crosswalks campaign because during the bike planning sessions, the moms in the Zoom meeting said, protect our kids. Well, every time I ride across the street, an intersection, there's a car right in the middle of the crosswalk that I go around. Now, I expect it. But what about a kid? You know, a kid doesn't, they don't think about it. Plus, there's all these big vehicles that are blocking the view and stuff, making it dangerous. So let's do that. The state of Illinois has a House bill going through to make 20 miles per hour the default speed limit. And the League of American Bicycles happens to say, as one of their slogans, 20 is plenty. So I know when I ride, and I don't know, Jay, what your experience was riding to the Village Hall here today, but I've never passed another bicyclist riding down Main Street. You know, let's give it a little road diet. Let's give it a speed limit. You know, by slowing the cars down, not necessarily just by the sign, but by maybe a speed table crosswalk at the entrance to. Cars are coming into downtown at 35 miles an hour, and it takes them 2 blocks to slow down to 25. Well, let's slow them down to 20. Let's put more bikes on the streets downtown and more people walking on the sidewalks downtown. I mean, we really don't see that. So anyway, what are the achievements? Number 6, well, the bike plan. Well, that's an obvious one, but we've also got a lot of intergovernmental agreements out there that we can use to show that we're not just for Bartlett, but we're for the whole region. So it's a good deal. So things we can do, well, let's adopt a Vision Zero action plan and a safe systems approach. Let's commit to the call to action campaign by the United States Department of Transportation. There's things we can do. And we wouldn't be alone. Other communities here that are bicycle-friendly communities: Schaumburg, Warrenville, Batavia, Aurora. These are all communities that can help us. And there's just tons of organizations ready to help. All we got to do is ask. So thanks for my 3 minutes.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for your comments. We'll move on to old business, new business. First one is the DuPage County Forest Preserve update. Is there anyone here?
Jessica Ortega could not make it. She said she didn't have any updates for this meeting. She was hoping to have some for the one this summer.
Excellent. Park District update.
Don't really have anything new updates, just kind of sharing some more information in regards to our bike path that is along South Bartlett Road. We are planning to actually go out to bid for that project. That's going to coincide with a bigger project that's happening at the community park. But going out to bid in April, opening in May, to hopefully start the project in August. And ideally, this again will coincide with a lot going on, and completion date as of end of November, early December. So just kind of more updates with actual dates. But that's kind of what's new for the bike path through the Park District.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee?
I know I ride my bike all the time in the summer going to the pool from where I live. Is there going to be any alternate route for going up that path?
During construction? That's an excellent question, because it is going through the whole perimeter path through the park is going to get replaced. At this time, no, there's going to be no alternate getting there, but we could definitely have those discussions with our contractor at the time, but that's an excellent point.
Yeah. Is there any sidewalks or paths on the other side of the road that maybe could be opened up to that, or kind of shift the bike and running people off to the other side of the road to cut over? I know you might not have the answer right now, but just to try to facilitate that, because a lot of people use that path to get from downtown over to there, so.
Well, yeah, the pool will be closing kind of at Labor Day weekend, so it shouldn't really impact pool operations during the summer. in regards to that. But yeah, outside of the pool, if you are trying to get down to the community center off that way, then yeah, we wouldn't really have an alternate, but,
Good question.
okay.
All right.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to bike path maintenance update.
So since the last meeting, there hasn't been any real change as far as maintenance. During winter, we haven't performed any, but updates kind of on the other side of that path. DuPage County has started removing some of the trees, so then the path from the horse farm to the library will be also resurfaced. Probably looking more early summer, out to bid roughly about the same time, but that's the current plan for that one. And if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Any questions from the committee?
This is a great schedule, these projects, and you said like early summer. Are they scheduled for a time period, or is it ad hoc when they can be accomplished?
So we'd push for them to get done, like if we went out to bid around the same time as them, we'd probably push to get done by the fall, which in reality, it won't take that much time to resurface and redo a 8-foot path. So I wouldn't anticipate a long construction period, but I'd say it'd be done by the end of the year for sure.
Okay, that's good. I mean, because biking season starts when it's warm, so obviously, from our perspective, the earlier, the better, if we can get first in line.
Are all the bids coming back under budget, or are we doing a lot of this stuff in-house?
For one like that, we'd have to go out for it. We don't have the capability to do that one, but for other projects, bids have been coming in pretty good, so
Good.
it's encouraging. Now, I haven't done our road resurfacing bid or anything like that yet, which would be more apples to apples, but other towns are seeing pretty good results so far.
Couple questions. The Brewster Creek Business Park, so that's going to be all repaved this summer and extended north to, is it West Bartlett Road? That's on tap for the summer?
Yeah, with the developer there, we're redoing all those paths and the roads with them, and
Okay.
there'll also be a crosswalk at Munger, Naperville, West Bartlett. That's not there currently.
Are there a push button timer, the crosswalk timers there, or is that going to be part of it?
I believe that's part of it.
Yeah, that is,
Okay, fantastic. And then how is the progress on the new residential subdivision at 59 in West Bartlett, the trail that goes under 59 there? Is that still on the books?
do you want to answer that, or do you want me to?
No, you can go ahead.
It's still on the books. Their engineer is working with, they've submitted plans to IDOT for the underpass that runs parallel with Metra, so they're working on the timing of that to go through. They've submitted the plans, it's just a matter of getting all the details ironed out and the permits acquired.
Do you need to get permission from the railroad at all? Isn't it going?
No, because it's not going on, that part is not going on the railroad right-of-way. It's
Okay.
within IDOT's.
That's convenient.
Yes, that part of it is.
I've seen they've already dug some retention basins and filled them there, and I've seen all the ground earth movers there. Roads probably soon, are bike paths going to be with the roads before the houses, or any indication with that?
So, yeah, they put the ponds in, so the next thing will be they'll have to actually put the flared end sections so the rainwater and groundwater will be able to get out. So the next phase is actually all the underground utilities and finished grading. So there's still a ways to go before roads and all that get put in, but
A ways a month, a ways a year?
Their public completion agreement, I believe, has an end date of 2026 to have all the public improvements completed. So
Well, once-
sometimes, it really depends on what their contractors, when they put the bike paths in. So they have until 2026 to get them all installed. Hopefully it's sooner.
Any feel on permits yet, or is it way too soon for that? Because once they start putting up houses, I think they'll start developing roads and such.
Right, they initially just had an early earthworks permit. We just issued the full site development permit last week, so that's so they can start doing the roads, doing all the utilities. We've asked them to submit their builder's plans so that when their permits come in, we can review them very quickly. They had a very aggressive time frame of how quickly they'd be bringing in permits. I don't know if they're actually going to meet that. At one point, they told us, I believe it was 15 permits a week, which would be shocking.
Depends on, depends on the price point.
Right. So, I mean, but they are not, they're a different builder than what we've typically seen around, where they're not like semi-custom homes. They start building them before they're under contract. So it is different than what you've seen with like Pulte, Reland Homes, Ryland Homes. It's a different way that they have their buildings designed.
They build them and then find a buyer.
Correct.
Can you talk about where the bike path, how is it going to connect from where it goes under Route 59 and where it's going to come out?
So it's going to kind of meander through that open space lot right now that's just wooded. So it'll go around, it'll go to the east of the pond and then connect somewhere on West Bartlett, close to the Maryville access drive. So we'd put striping there and obviously the signs to let people know that there's a mid-block.
Not at the corner. It's going to be up east of the corner?
Yeah, oh, yes, it's going to be east of the corner. It'll be closer to where that first building is on the north side of the
There'll
road.
be striping and
But no
safe
traffic control there.
crossings.
Yeah.
Maybe that's an opportunity for a lit, I don't know about a speed table, but maybe a lit crossing sign.
Yeah,
So,
like with the warning signs, flashing warnings.
yeah. All right, any other questions? So we'll talk, oh, you got something?
Oh, just one more kind of, I was gonna save it for the Forest Preserve update, but since they're not here, so the trail the new trail that they put along Munger, so the intersection, the crosswalk for Forest Preserve Drive in Munger right there, you know, that's a very high-speed area, even though it's posted 35, it's, any chance, you know, we have there's signs, you know, crosswalk ahead, section, but what about flashers or even a stop sign at that intersection? Because it's
Stop sign where?
Forest Preserve Drive in Munger.
I can tell you from that, my cop days, you're not going to get a stop sign there. Stop signs are to stop side streets from main streets. You'd have to have 800 cars an hour for 8 hours coming off of Forest Preserve to get a stop sign.
What about a yield sign? Half the cars?
They don't, the cars on Forest Preserves are under the Illinois Vehicle Code are the ones that have to yield.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, there's already a stop sign at Forest Preserve when it T-bones into Munger. I'm talking
Right.
for a stop sign on Munger.
Right.
That's not possible? I'm sure there's more than 800 cars.
No, it's based on it's based on traffic volumes. I've told this story 100 times or more over the years. Stop sign is not meant to slow traffic. Stop sign's meant to get traffic out. And if you put a illegal stop sign somewhere, it doesn't accomplish what you're looking for. In fact, it increases your liability because people expect the cars to stop, and if they miss it, you're on the hook if you didn't meet the traffic warrants. And there's engineering studies, I haven't read one recently, but the ones I've read in the past, drivers subconsciously speed up in between multiple speed stop signs.
Good to know. Good info. All right.
So is your goal to try to slow down traffic or?
Bring awareness, because I've seen kids running across that intersection with cars barreling down.
Yeah.
And there's nothing stopping the cars doing 55 miles an hour, or nothing to slow them down. The signs are arguably, you know, only half the people might pay attention to the sign that says crosswalk ahead.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking
Yeah.
about,
Do you have a suggestion? I saw your arms waving out there.
Just put in a flasher at the high school crossing there. At least it lets drivers know that, hey, somebody is trying to get across.
Do you know what intersection he's speaking of?
Yes.
Can you guys look at maybe some options?
Yeah, we can look at it, we can work with the police department too, to make sure that they're enforcing the
Yeah.
regulations out there as well.
Put a squad car out there 24 hours a day?
Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
my point, I mean, I think you understand the point, right?
Yeah.
It's just, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
It's- and, you know,
absolutely.
people are, now that springs, people are itching to use this new trail.
Yeah,
And like I said, it's trying to prevent an accident.
yeah, absolutely.
We've had conversations with the police department about looking at the speed limit on Munger Road as well. So,
To do what, to lower it?
possibly, so there are certain merits, so it's Public Works works with the police department when especially since there's the crossing now. So that was something that we wanted to wait until it got warmer to see people actually using. That's when you have to do the studies.
Okay, because Munger from Army Trail to Stearns, there's two different speed limits there, it's 35 and 45. North of the tracks, 35, I think south of Forest Preserve Drive is 45.
Yes.
And then I forget what it is on the other side, I think that's Wayne, actually, on the other side of Army Trail, the south. But, okay,
Similarly,
Yeah, we've talked about trying to figure out what the right speed limit is so that it's uniform.
there-
within the village.
similarly, there's engineering standards for setting speed limits, and it's based on the 85th percentile of what normal traffic travels, and that's without a cop sitting there, that's without just monitoring traffic surreptitiously, and look at the 85th percentile, and that's what the safe speed is determined by the motorists. And you can have impacts if you have driveways, if you have accidents, if you have other things, but
and that's gonna increase.
again, you don't just go,
Right.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure there's more to it than just saying, hey, let's make it 25 hours.
there's a lot of people who believe changing the speed limit changes behavior. It does not. All it does is create more violators. The idea of traffic enforcement is to get people to obey the speed limit when there's not enforcement, and that's the 85th percentile. Most people drive at a safe speed, then there's 15% who do not.
You've been on Munger, right?
Yes, it's not a very wide road.
It's a raceway, right?
Agreed. Under the current law and engineering standard, again, if you set a speed limit of 30, it's not enforceable if anybody chooses to challenge it and knows what they're doing. B, again, it increases your liability if you get an attorney who knows what he's doing and says, well, it should have been 30, and what, the village set it at 30, why aren't they doing something about it? And then you're on the hook more than you would have been if you followed the rules. So
Gotcha.
We'll be doing shortly on that road, well, a couple things. So there's a culvert that's failing that will be replaced hopefully soon. It all depends on permitting and that, but, so that will shut down the road for a time, which would be a great time to bike because no cars will be able to get there. Will also be, because we have additional right-of-way on that road, even though it's relatively narrow, we are gonna, when time allows, we're gonna be clearing the shoulders in the tree line.
Yeah, there's sight lines.
Yeah, we did get a little hiccup in that because IDOT sent out a letter regarding when you're allowed to trim and clear trees based off a long-eared bat, but kind of cuts the time frame we're allowed to do it in half, but we're working around it.
How long do you think that road's going to be shut down for when you do that project?
Because it's, as of right now, pending permit, it's supposed to be a precast culvert, so it should be relatively quick. Like, probably week, 2 weeks, it shouldn't, they'll rip out the existing, put in place a new one, pave over it. So, it's not too disruptive, but it'll be a time that'll be closed down.
All right, any other questions?
Thank you.
Then we'll move on to the bicycle-friendly community update.
All right. So in our January meeting, we kind of introduced the idea of applying for this bicycle-friendly community designation to the League of American Cyclists, and we got enthusiastic support with that. And so we've continued to kind of pursue that path with, we've created a community profile with the League of American Cyclists, so now we're working through the application. There's 6 parts to the application: community profile, engineering, education, evaluation, planning, and equity and accessibility. As of this week, we've completed the community profile section, so we're 1/6 of the way done already. And then what we've been focusing on right now is just kind of focusing on what we have in-house, kind of so that we can kind of get a lot of points on the board and moving forward into the application. So we're working on the engineering sections and the evaluation and planning sections, which is a lot of our policies, complete streets, our maintenance schedules, and our connectivity analysis and the establishment of the Bicycle Advisory Committee all go into kind of that application process. The next kind of step is a little bit more fuzzy, wobbly in terms of its regards of education, encouragement, equity, and accessibility. This has a lot to do with working with community programs. Terry's going to be a great asset moving forward with this. I'm going to reach out to him. I've already reached out to Bike Illinois as well. They've responded. They're enthusiastic with our application. They're excited to work with us as well. And then we also need to reach out to the school district to see if they have any bike education programs, so we can get their involvement. And so that's kind of the next steps, along with the Parks District as well, is kind of get the next steps of, okay, what are the community outreach programs that are in place, and what can we move forward with kind of getting the ball rolling on anything that we think we should get in place.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then as part of, and then kind of the last thing is these 10 questions that Terry also offered his feedback, which is great, which is really great stuff. I wrote a bunch of it down. I said, oh, that's a great idea. And then I'm going to, if you could email me any kind of comments that you have, that would be fantastic. Because, what you offered today was like, oh, man, that's a great idea. Oh, that's a great idea. Okay, good, excellent. And then if you guys want to work on that in this session right now, we can, or if you want to submit any written comments to me via email or anything like that, we can do that as well.
Yeah, I think if anyone has any, if they want to answer any of them now, they can. If they want to email them later, they can. I think we should, are you going to send this out to the Park District and the School District to also kind of get their feedback?
Yeah, so my
for these
plan
questions and kind of mesh them together?
So my plan is to move forward with this, is to kind of introduce them to the ideas that, hey, we've been working with the Bicycle Advisory Committee on getting this application in for the village. Your involvement is, crucial to this application, and then kind of work my way there of get to know the right people, get to understand what kind of any programs that they have involved, and if they don't, is there any way I can get a ball rolling with, the school district, for example, if they don't have a bicycle education program or safety program, okay, what's the way we can get a ball rolling so we can kind of move forward on that and get something in writing that says, oh yeah, we're doing, we're planning on doing something. I think that would help us move forward on that.
Absolutely. Does anyone want to touch base on any of these, or do they want to submit them by email later?
Probably email later, that way you can collate them and
Yeah.
kind of begin building the database.
Yeah, I think in our summer meeting, what we might do is I'll kind of put all the answers kind of together, and then we can go, okay, these are, and I think that's going to give us a really good point on, okay, here's directions that I think we need to take next, because the application window that we're shooting for is August, so a lot of the things that we're going to get here, we're probably not going to be implementing into this application, but in the chance that this application is given a honorary mention, and we go, okay, we need to come back and reassess, we can use these suggestions, make those policy changes, and then apply again in the next window.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Does anyone have any new business?
We do have,
Oh, you got something else?
We have for John, who's been on the commission now for 5 years. So we have a small gift for him.
It's been 5 years. Oh my gosh, thank you very much.
5 years.
Nice, thank you.
I've been on the village board for 8 years, and I've got nothing.
So even Terry said this is the best committee.
That's
Bartlett
it.
has.
Haven't you gotten yelled at a time or two?
I have.
There you go.
All right, well, if there's no new business, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second it.
All right, I'll ask staff to call the roll.
Right. Adam Hopkins,
Yes.
Barry Kroll,
Yes.
Dan Palmer,
Yes.
John Gutz,
Yes.
Jay Daughtry.
This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Were you one of the original on that?
No, I think. Okay.
Because I was kind of in Terry's role now. I come every time and say my 3 minutes.
Yeah.